we're going to move on into the next portion of our show. Um, Not going to go on too long here. Just real quick, we're going to look at um, what's going on with Jared Kushner. So, Jared Kushner, as you know, is the son in law of um, Donald Trump. And he recently went
Today we had
to the Middle East to have discussions with Hamas and Bibi Netanyahu. So he doesn't. The thing about Jared Kushner is, it's nepotism, right? He doesn't hold an official official governmental position. He's not an employee of the government, so he doesn't work for us, the people, right? He serves as an envoy, right? An envoy for the president. And he's a key person in this this peace, this Trump's board of peace, what concerning Middle East issues. But the problem is that he's always consistently sided with the Israeli um, security priorities in the Gaza conflict. So, as you know, he met with Hamas, he met with Bibi. Let's go ahead and watch this clip here on Fox News.
Here is what Terrell did.
Had a very, very good meeting. We were there for almost 4 hours with him and his team going through all the different details. I think there were some valid concerns that they raised that we were able to address. And we were able to go through some of the misunderstandings and misinformation that's been out about it as well. I mean, certain things like we're very committed to the fact that we have a plan to rebuild Gaza, but we will not allow Gaza to be rebuilt until the demilitarization occurs. Nobody wants to put more money into a place that's gone on for so long until if it's just going to be taken over by terrorists or blown up again. We're also not going to restrict Israel's right to defend itself if there are any imminent threats. And so we had to clarify what that means. We could be seeing progress, as much as in as little as 30 days, hopefully on starting to take some of the weapons out and hopefully filling in some of the tunnels as well in the next 60 to 90 days as well. So progress could come quite soon, but we do need cooperation from both sides. And we're going to hopefully get through. But we've made a lot of progress to get here. For Israel, we think this is a win-win situation because if Hamas actually gives over the weapons and the tunnels, willingly over the next 60 to 90 days, that obviously would be the elimination of a huge security threat for Israel, almost an unthinkable achievement. And if they don't follow through now on their commitment, everyone will see that they're not genuine about peace, and then Israel will have a lot more support from the U.S. and others to go and finish the job in the appropriate way.
All right, so this is the problem I have with this. They're asking Hamas, and look, we know Hamas. I'm not like on the side of Hamas or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, Israel has been occupying Gaza for decades and committing many atrocities. And we know Israel's record as far as respecting ceasefires goes. That's something they don't do. Now, Trump has his 15-point Gaza plan or roadmap that's supposed to phase out Hamas disarmament. And that's supposed to be matched with Israeli force adjustments. So supposedly, theoretically, if Hamas disarms, then Israel pulls back. And then when Israel pulls back, then they could bring in the humanitarian aid and then proceed with reconstruction, as Jared Kushner mentioned. Now, Netanyahu, his position is that, well, he just wants perpetual war. We all know Netanyahu he's bloodthirsty. He just wants war. They want to take over that area, Gaza. They want to take over all of it. And I don't believe that they're good faith actors. And really, most Americans aren't believing that. The majority of Americans aren't believing that. So with Hamas, they're being asked to disarm, but they're also like, wait a minute, if we disarm, Israel is not going to honor that. They're going to continue to attack, and they're going to continue to annex more territory. So what's in it for Hamas? I mean, why would Hamas disarm when history has shown them that Israel is going to continue to aggress. So this is clearly Jared Kushner siding with Israeli forces, with Bibi Netanyahu. So there is this like deadlock. I don't think this plan is going to work. I don't think Hamas is going to disarm. So I don't know what's going to happen, what the outcome of this is all going to be, and we'll just continue to watch. But at the same time, I think this needs to end. If someone is going to represent American interests overseas, that person should be an official, should have an official position with the government. That's what I believe. Not nepotism, not someone who is making money with all these deals overseas, right? Because it sounds like to me that he's just looking for his interest, for the Trump empire. And, we're not with that. We want to see an end to this. We want to see an end to this conflict as well. All right. So go ahead and comment on that. Tell me what you think. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and then we're going to move on into our next topic, our last topic, which is we're going to look at a video from Mohammed Marandi. As you know, he's been very popular speaking on behalf of Iran in this conflict. And we're going to hear what he has to say.
Iran has been targeting U.S. assets in the Persian Gulf, and those assets could be anything that's linked to the United States. The United States is bombing hospitals. The United States is bombing schools. The United States is bombing Iranian national radio and television alongside the Israeli regime. So U.S. assets in the Persian Gulf, they too will be attacked. But assets that belong to the states in the Persian Gulf region, they have not been touched by the Iranians. However, if they host U.S. forces, because many of the soldiers have left their bases and been taken to hotels, the Iranians will target them. So at the end of the day, if they want this problem to end, they have to expel soldiers of the Epstein regime. Iran has been targeting U.S. assets in the Persian Gulf, and those assets could be anything that's linked to the United States.
Okay, so Professor Morandi, I think when you look at like what it looks like in Iran, how the Iranian people are so proud of their country, of their heritage. The Persians have been around forever, and for Trump to think that, or to take the advice of people around him that they'd be able, like Bibi Netanyahu, that they'd be able to take out the Persian Empire or Iran in 2 weeks is absurd. It's crazy to think that Trump actually thought that he could do that. And Iran has proven that they're not an easy foe to deal with. Now, when Israel gave Trump the assessment that they could take out Iran in 2 weeks, it's because they wanted to take southern Lebanon. So Iran was going to be dealt with by the United States, and Israel now will be free to move into southern Lebanon and annex that area and continue the war that Bibi Netanyahu so desperately needs. As you know, he has elections coming up and he needs to stay in power. He's got all kinds of issues going on domestically over there, corruption charges against them. So the Iran war has not gone well for the United States, and we are, we're suffering for that. This is not something that Trump ran on. He said no more wars, and we're 170 plus days now into this war that was supposed to be just 2 weeks. Then it was supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks, and we're 170 days now into this war. This is not going to bode well for the primaries coming up this fall. And now you hear all this talk about the Strait of Hormuz and that it's going to become a U.S. territory, according to Trump. I don't know. It's just not going to work. It's just going to get worse and worse. And Trump needs to just chalk this up as a loss. Try to make it look as good as possible. Try to make it look like somehow it's a U.S. victory. But he needs to get out. The longer he stays in Iran, the worse it's going to get. So, Professor Morandi is basically saying that Iran is very prepared. They're prepared for a ground invasion. They don't believe that they can lose. They also have very good media or propaganda that they're putting out, with the Lego videos. And Iran is, I think, is reasonable based off of what I've seen. They want to be reasonable. They were the ones that were attacked. But I think the problem is that it's Israel. Israel is pushing all of these worlds in the Middle East. And again, Morandi, he's like the prominent Iranian voice, and not endorsing Morandi, but I'm just saying, like, in being fair, the Iranian people are a sovereign country, right? They're a sovereign country. I don't know what's going on over there, politically and stuff like that, but they're a sovereign country, and it would be a better situation, I think, for the United States if we just work with them. 90 million people, do trade with them, do business with them, respect them as a country, and the Middle East would be a safer place, a much more secure place. Okay, so we're going to continue to follow this, and I'm going to wrap up the show on that. Thank you guys for being with me here on my first live. I've got a lot to learn about this and what we talked about today, with Candace Owens and the debate and the new footage, never before seen footage of Terrell Farnsworth. Let me know what you thought about that. Comment on that, and we'll be back again with another live stream. Thank you guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Peace.